Good evening, everybody, and welcome to your Rangers Review Extra Transfer Special. Of course, there's a host of names that have been linked to Rangers already. We've not even entered the transfer window. One such name is one that was linked in the previous transfer window that looked to be on his way to Ibrox, but it was put on hold. It now looks like it will go ahead this summer, and that is Hefty, the Brazilian left back on loan from Fluminense in his homeland, playing for APOEL. He spent the season in Cyprus, and who better to get on to discuss how he's got on than our favourite Cypriot football expert, Stel Stylianou from the Lisses Mappa podcast. How is it going, Stel?
Could be better, mate. If my team was better, it could be better. But thanks for the invitation again, mate. Appreciate it. Great to speak to you again.
Yeah, no, it's fantastic to have you on. Of course, Ammonia never had quite the season that you would have wanted. I think Rangers have had a similar sort of end to the campaign. It's been rather disappointing, hence why there's going to be another summer rebuild. And one of those players is Hefty. Seen reports that it looks like he could be on his way to Ibrox. We had you on a couple of months ago still, and you gave us a bit of insight into how he's got on. Subsequently, he went AWOL, of course. He went back, apologised to the APOEL fans, and then played the final few months of his loan spell in Cyprus. Can you give us a little bit of an update on how APOEL how their season unfolded and how Hefty got on?
I'm very disappointed that you don't know this already, because as an Omonia fan, you should know that they won the bloody league. You've done your research, Derek. You invited me on asking me if APOEL won the league or not. Come on. No, I'm joking. Yeah, they won the league on the final day of the season. They played AEK Larnaca. They were locked on 72 points. And because it goes down to head-to-head, APOEL had a better head-to-head against AEK. They went a goal down after 5 minutes, but within 5 minutes, they equalised. They held on, even though AEK hardly threatened them. And AEK are like the Tottenham of Cypriot football. They're the kind of team that will finish third in a two-horse race.
Yeah.
And APOEL won the league. So Hefty got his title winner's medal, although he only featured as a sub in the last 4 games of the season. And that is more than likely because Sapinto, the head coach then, he's since left, he wanted a more experienced back four. And if I remember correctly, Hefty's last 90 minutes for APOEL was actually against Omonia, where he was run ragged down his left-hand side by a 20-year-old winger called Alium, absolutely skinned him. And I think that was a game where Sapinto thought, you know what, I need a more experienced fullback in that position, because they faced Buffalo, which another good team, Ari and the former champions, and AEK Larnaca. So Hefty has only played like 15 minutes here and there in each of the last 4 games. In fact, the final game against AEK, he didn't even come off the bench. So I think the inexperience kind of obviously swayed the coach's decision to play a more experienced fullback in his spot.
Yeah. When the move to Rangers fell through in January time, still, of course, he went missing for a period of time, and then he reappeared. What was that sort of reaction from the APOEL fans? Did they sort of just put it to one side and just get on with things? Could they understand? Of course, his head must have been all over the place back then.
Yeah, do you know what? I think the thing is, with APOEL fans, they are undoubtedly the most passionate, but yet the most triggered fans in Cyprus.
Okay, yeah.
So, and the thing is with them, what I will hand to them is they don't take any nonsense from anyone, whether it be players, whether it be coaches, anything. It's us against them. And I like that siege mentality, and I respect them for that. But on this occasion, there didn't seem to be any vitriol towards Hefty. I think maybe because they were challenging for the title. They knew they had adequate backup in that position, and they knew that whoever would come in at left back or even right back, because it was Shebak, the Moroccan guy that played at left back to replace Hefty. He's had a fantastic season. So he's been alternating with the Bosnian Suzic at fullback position. So I think the APOEL fans knew anyway that Rangers are a step up. So I don't think that, and to be honest, he wasn't their player. He's only on loan, really. Yeah. So if he was one of their players and he had a contract, then they would say, well, you've got a contract for another year or 2 years, or however long it is. But because he's only on loan, I think they kind of knew when he started picking up form before he went AO that he's not going to be here for too long. So there wasn't any, as I said, any vitriol headed his way.
Yeah, a few folk tuning in already. William's very excited, says Hefty on the lefty. I can see that getting built in.
Well, Derek, sorry to interrupt you. You've got an exclusive here because I've got a mate who is very well connected at APOEL, and he says the deal is very close.
Wow.
Just send me a message now.
Well, there you go, folks. An exclusive right here on the show. That ties in because Aldo's got in touch, says it is a deal on. So there you go, Aldo. That will certainly please you. It is an area of the pitch. Rangers, of course, looking to bolster the left-back situation. Borna Barisic is departing. There will be noise surrounding Rudvan in the summer. There will be clubs looking to prize him away. So it just leaves it Robbie Freezer, and it looks like Jefte is on his way. Now, APOEL wanted to keep him, didn't they, Stel? I know that their vice president was speaking a few days ago, and they were looking to sign him on a permanent basis, but it looks like they're going to miss out. Is there any other clubs maybe sniffing about? Because I haven't heard of any other teams looking to take him.
No, not that I know of. Although, given who his representative is, it wouldn't surprise me if there is interest elsewhere. But there's nothing that I've heard of, and if it does happen, it will be completely left field. Rangers are the only team. They're the only team interested. Or it seems they're in pole position anyway. And there was something that I heard a couple weeks ago, which again I didn't pay too much attention because in Cyprus people talk, and they said the player has already been to Scotland. Although I'm not sure when he would have had the time. And with Cyprus, because it's such a small island, any player, especially someone like Hefty that plays for APOEL, wherever he goes, he's going to be photographed somewhere. So he'd have been photographed at the airport. He would have been photographed anywhere. So I don't think that happened. But as I said, my contact is very close with the club, and I said he literally messaged me a moment ago. Says it's very close.
Yeah, fantastic, excellent. And right, okay, I mean, Cypriot football, Scottish football is very unique. It's unlike anywhere else. I'd imagine it's very different to what Hefty has experienced over there in Cyprus. Still, I know that the fans are very passionate, but the physicality and the style of football that he's about to encounter, do you think he can thrive playing for a club like Rangers in the Scottish League?
I think he can with the right development. And what I say about Hefty, and I'm sure I said this on the last episode, going forward, he's brilliant. He's great at bombing forward, first time crossing, great at supporting the wide men or the inside lefts or the inside rights. But defensively, that's his problem. He's not a focused defender. He ball watches quite a bit. If you've got a tricky winger with pace that can match him or betters him for pace, he goes missing. But again, it's development. And I think it's about tactical discipline more than anything, not ability. I think it's a more mental thing. So in terms of his ability, I think he's got the potential to be top notch. And my friend Tasso, who's an APOEL fan, I said to him weeks ago that I think that one day with the right development, this lad could play for the Brazilian national team because he's that stereotypical Brazilian fullback. But sorry to say this, he won't do it while he's at Glasgow Rangers. He'll need to go to a Spanish team. But that's not to say he can't do it, because I think just like APOEL, Rangers will be a stepping stone for him. That's what I think. And this isn't a disrespect to Rangers, because I can't talk because I'm a Cypriot football fan. But I think that's just how it is. When you've got South American players, their dream is to play in La Liga or a league in the Mediterranean that's higher up. So again, it's no disrespect to Rangers, but I just think that he'll go to the club. And again, it's down to mentality. And I know what the weather's like up there. It's very similar to London. So
William gets in touch, says he got a nice parka on his profile pic on Instagram in the snow. He must be getting ready for getting off the plane. Yeah, that's summertime in Scotland. But listen, I totally agree there, Stel. Rangers are looking to reduce the age of what is an aging squad. He is just 20 years of age. They will be looking to get maybe 2 or 3 seasons out of him and then flip him and try and make a bit of money on him as well. I don't think, I believe his deal at Fluminense is up, if I'm not mistaken. Is that right, Still? Was there a fee quoted that APOEL were willing to pay for him? Do you know?
Yeah, it's between 300,000 and 500,000.
Right,
300 and 500. So 300 and 500,000. That was roughly the price. But the thing is, APOEL have got huge debts, very big debts. But that being said, they're able to bring money in one way, shape, or form. And because they won the league, they're in the Champions League qualifiers, so they're going to bring in some money that way and other ways. I think I know they've got planning permission to build a new stadium, which should be done by 2028, I think. And that's going to bring in a bit of revenue. So it's looking good for them at the moment. But the thing is, Derek, when you look at the Cypriot League right now, there's two teams that are bankrolled by billionaires, and they're fairly new clubs. One of them won the league last year. Okay, Aris have been around for 92 years, but since they've only really been good the past 3 years. But they got loads of money. And then you've got Buffalo, which is the interesting one, FC Buffalo or Paphos FC, because not only do they have a billionaire backing them, their head coach is Carcedo, that was Unai Emery's assistant at Arsenal, at Paris Saint-Germain, at Sevilla. They now have a collaboration agreement with Sevilla and Watford. So they'll be sending players and vice versa, young players. And it's scary what they're going to do. They're going to regenerate the area. They're going to redevelop the stadium. And they've won the cup. So they're going to be in the Europa League qualifiers. It's looking very scary. I'm just worried that our league's going to end up like the French league, where it's going to be one or two teams fighting every season. So it is what it is.
Yeah. Remember you telling us when you were last on, Stel, about the ins and outs of the Cypriot League. It certainly is a lively football league over there. There's no doubt about it. Things going off both on and off the pitch. Hefty's temperament then, is he someone that is he a hothead, or is he a sort of someone that's calm, measured sort of guy?
Well, he hasn't had any disciplinary issues on the field, to be honest. So I can't say that he gets rattled easily. As I said, he's 6 foot plus. He's a big boy. But again, it's just it's the immaturity on the field. But off the field, apart from going AWOL, I haven't heard any stories about him going to nightclubs in Cyprus, because we've got quite a fair few of those. So I haven't heard of any incidents of him going out and getting drunk and misbehaving. It's just the whole AWOL thing. But the reason why he was loaned to APOEL in the first place is because Fluminense couldn't handle his personality. So maybe when he's out of his environment, the environment that he's used to, i.e. Brazil, he behaves himself. So again, I haven't, aside from the AWOL thing, nothing. There's no slander, no nothing.
Yeah, fantastic. Well, certainly looking forward to see them pitching up at Ibrox. In terms of, the Cypriot League we touched on just ended there, Stel. Is there any other players you can see moving on in the summer? Any players that clubs like Rangers should be keeping an eye on, do you think?
I think Karol Strudzki at Aris is a very good player. Polish. He broke into the Polish national team, but then he picked up an injury. So he was pulled out. And then there's Jambos Haralambos at Armonia. 21 years old, very good ball player. I'm not just saying that because he's a mate, but very good ball player. So there's quite a few players in Cyprus, but there's a striker in at APOEL who's, I think he's signed from Sao Paulo, called Maioli, and he's very nimble, very quick. He hasn't scored any goals yet, but you can tell his movement off the ball is very, very good. But I could start reeling off a list of players, and you'd be like,
here's one. William's getting in touch here, Stel. I'll put this to your good self. He says, Derek, can you ask Stel what he thinks about Mayambela at Aris?
Yeah, good player going forward. Loves to cut inside on his left foot and smash the ball. Got a very good shot. South African international. 28, 29, I think. He's a good player. This season he hasn't had a great season, I'm not going to lie, but then again the whole of the Irish squad haven't been great because they've had problems on and off the field, especially being the reigning champions. But he did well in the European football. I think he's a good player, but again, because of the age, I'm not sure if he could do it in the SPL or a higher level, in all fairness. But good player.
Interesting. Thanks for that, William. Looking obviously to the summer, then your club, Stel Stylianou, do you expect a summer of change like we will encounter at Ibrox?
Well, we do have a summer of change already with a new. So, God, where do I begin? When I came on your pod last time, what month was it?
January, I think.
January, right? Yeah. So I think it was a couple of days after I came on your pod. Our manager was sacked. We brought in Kjetil Rekdal, the former Norwegian striker that coached Rosenborg. Yeah. He lasted 6 weeks. He was then sacked. The sporting director was then sacked for allegedly taking money from a transfer, which I'm not going to go into that because I've heard different stories. They then brought in one of our previous head coaches, to be a caretaker manager, but then they're going to move him up to a technical director role. And then they signed up Dambrauskas, who's a Lithuanian coach who I believe was at Hajduk Split, and they said he's going to come in the summer. But with Cyprus being Cyprus, we've got 8 or 9 players out of contract. So I don't know what's going to happen there. Our budget is reduced because we didn't win the league or we didn't win the cup. We finished 3rd. So, and a lot of things happen in Cyprus, Derek. The problem is, and I'm just going to say it, we have a president and a vice president that know nothing about football. They're great at bringing in sponsors and everything. And the decisions that they've made the last 3 years have been absolutely atrocious. And I'm sorry to say this, but they're milking money out of the club as well. The club is a cash cow for them because they know that when you get 12,000 season ticket holders, a small club like Omonia, in comparison to the Rangers, obviously, they can make money in various ways. So I'm not optimistic about next season, especially as I said with Buffer going to be strengthening the squad. Aris are going to be strengthening the squad. AK Larnaca, they're certainly going to strengthen the squad as well because finishing second 2 years out of 3, they had the Conference League last season where they got to the final 16 against West Ham. The league is going to get stronger though, and I'm excited about it. But I'm more excited about the thrills and spills that come with Cypriot football. I mean, the away fans are still banned from stadiums because of the trouble. So it's going to be even more interesting next season because Omonia 29 have got promoted to the 1st division. Now, Omonia 29 are like the FC United of Cyprus football. Okay. Yeah. Because my team, Omonia, we had the Ultras. And in 2018, when we were taken over by our president, the Cypriot American, the Ultras didn't want him because we kind of lost our left-wing ideology. So they created this team, Omonia 29, and they've gone from non-league to 1st division. Now, a lot of their fans, still the Ultras, and in Cyprus, to purchase a ticket for a game, you need what they call a fan card. So it's got your ID. These fans, the Ultras, they oppose it because they don't want their identity to be known. So what do? Are they going to go to games or are they not going to go to games? But when they go to games, they are incredible, absolutely incredible. I need to send you a video of when they got promoted, the pitch invasion, the flares, it was incredible, absolutely incredible.
Wow.
So it's going to be fireworks.
I'd imagine. Yeah. And if people want to find out a wee bit more about Cypriot football, you do great work on Liss's map of the podcast. Stel, how can they find out more?
Yeah, if you just go on YouTube and search NC-network, that's what it's on. So you've got, this is Mappa, you've got the Omonia podcast, which is what we do, called No Choftes. We've got a podcast with Paul Parker that used to play for Man United. We've got various other podcasts on the platform. So yeah.
Do go and check it out, folks. I'll put the link in the description as well. But headline news, Hefty looks like he's on his way to Ibrox. So looking forward to him arriving and playing in the blue of Rangers next season. Right, big thanks to Stel and each and every one of you for supporting the channel and also for interacting with the show this evening as well. Hopefully you enjoyed that, and we'll speak to you again tomorrow. Bye for now.